Welcome to Adventures of Deanna. I'm Deanna, and today this is the ABCs of weight loss, and we are talking about words that start with the letter E. So go ahead, and while we're saying hello to everybody, we're getting settled in, getting ready for this fun adventure that we're going to be on today, go ahead and comment in the chat. Let me, what word or words do you think that we're going to be talking about tonight that start with the letter E? And everyone is welcome. Hello, everyone. That's a little E word. It's fun. So there was no guest on my little thumbnail today. So you might want to guess who our guest is. And their name does not start with the letter E. That would be fun if I could manage to find enough friends that had like names that started with like every letter of the alphabet. But I don't have that many friends, and especially with all those kinds of weird names. But it's our favorite person. Once I say that, you probably know, but it's one of my favorite people. Got a lot of favorite people, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring her on. It's your pal, Misty. Welcome, Misty.
Howdy, everybody. There's another E word. Everybody.
Everybody.
So it's kind of close. Not my name, but my grading has it in there for you. Howdy, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for joining. So, for the people out there that don't know you, Misty, would you like to tell everyone and everybody a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Sure, absolutely, Deanna. Thanks for having me as always. I'm happy to be here to talk about the letter E with you. I like talking about anything regarding weight, wellness, health, all that kind of stuff. So my name is Misty. My YouTube channel is Your Pal Misty because I hope to be your pal. I want my channel to be a place where you can come and have someone to sit down and have a conversation with and see how things are going. I do weekly live streams Monday at 6 p.m. Central. Over the last 3 years, I've lost 155 plus pounds. I'm almost down half my body weight. Still working on that. Still learning about myself and all of the things that it takes to be successful in this. I call it an expedition because I like to bring everyone along with me. So,
and that's an E word.
It is an E word. It's on my list. Expedition, because it's something that, for me, it's better together.
Better together. Expedition.
They got a lot of good E words in the chat tonight.
All these different words. I'm like, I have an adventure, you have an expedition, some people have journeys, like all these fun, like different ways of describing the whole scenario. And it makes it more fun, I think, whenever we just have these different words to kind of describe it, and it doesn't make it so just laborious and I don't know, whatever it is.
Well, and it makes it personalized a little bit, right? Yeah. Like Natasha's on her quest, right? So that's another one, a little quest. So,
I like quest.
Yeah, I like it.
I like all of them. It's hard to like stick to it. I'm like, but I chose adventure, so now I'm stuck with it. Like that's my theme, my thing. So, but I love all of them so very, very much. Oh my God. So welcome again. Thank you. And thank you all. Hello, Mary. Hello, Tia. Hello, everyone that is joining in tonight for the ABCs of weight loss. We're going to be here. I'm so excited. So I have lined up my next guests for F, G, H, and I. I know who they are, and I'm not going to tell you who they are. You're going to have to wait, but I'm so excited. Like, it just gives me such a relief to have my guests like lined up in the calendar, confirmed, so that I know that I can't back out, because anybody that's ever done a live stream probably has had that moment where they want to back out of doing it. And they're just like, I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like it, whatever. But now that I have my guests booked, there's like just no turning back. I know that it's something that I'm going to have to be doing. So we will see you on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m., at least for the next 4 weeks. And hopefully during those 4 weeks, I can book the next letters down the stream. So if you are a person who's watching the ABCs of weight loss and you would like to be on, I just want to invite you. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can reach out to me in the comments. If you have a word that you're like passionate about, and you like really want to share your point of view, reach out to me and let me know, because I don't want to miss out on something, especially if someone feels strongly about a word and feels really good about their perspective. I would like to get that out there because we're here to share everybody's different, perspective and the way they think about things. And, if it's a good thing, that's especially if it's related to mindset, then I'm here for it. And I would love to, share that out into the universe with everybody, everyone. So let's take a look at some of these words real quick that people are guessing, because I love the guessing game.
Yeah, some good ones.
Excuses. We've got energy. We've got value. We've got some really, really good ones. Expectations. Oh my gosh. Eating. Every day. Ooh, every day. Did you just hear the way that I said that word, every day? It didn't sound really good, did it? Like it was like every day. Instead
Oh,
of
like
like
it was a
every
disappointment, like every day. Yeah, it wasn't an exciting every day.
day. Yes, I got a haircut, everybody. So I just got like
That's very
3 inches
cute.
cut off, and I just got a fresh new color on it. So yeah, new hair. Thank you very much for the comments. Ego. Oh my God, ego.
Ooh, I
Wow.
missed that one, Tia. That's a good one. I'm surprised I didn't write it down. I'm going to though.
Yeah, commitment's a C word. That was a couple weeks ago. Excuses, efforts, energy. These are all amazing words, and we're gonna go over a few of these words. We're gonna try and keep this to just an hour today. But there was one word that for me has been like really sticking out in my head lately that I really wanted to talk about. And I'm just trying to stall for time while we talk about, while I star some of these so I can get back to them a little bit later. There's like this little thing you got to star and then blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the words I wanted to talk to, she's laughing at me. The word I wanted to talk about was this word energy that few people guessed. Energy is like, such a big word, and there's so many different ways to think about the word energy. Misty, what's your gut reaction whenever somebody says the word energy and how you would apply it to like weight loss?
Yeah, it's so most of my gut reaction when I think energy is physical energy. I know it is also now I know it is also mental energy, but my gut reaction is physical energy, movement, propulsion of myself to do things. My energy level is that's normally what I think of when I hear energy.
Yes, a lot, definitely. And then, calories give you energy for movement and
Hmm.
energy to get through the day and all of that kind of stuff. But then, yes. And then there's also the mental side of energy. So there's a lot of things in our lives, like energy wise, that, you might have a lot of physical energy, but then there's like different things that, on the mental side that can either like take away or give you energy. And I've got this cute little graphic that I found. Wait, there we go. Here we go. So we've got like energy takers and like energy givers. So have you experienced any energy takers in your life as of recently? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget, chat
I
away.
have done everything on that list, Anna.
Everything.
I'm not. Yep. I've done everything on that list. Maybe not the too much screen time, social media, because I have been limiting that because that's probably the first thing that goes for me when my mental energy is low.
You probably recently haven't been doing the junk food thing either.
Oh, junk food's on there.
Junk food's on there. So on the
Oh
list,
yeah, no, I did not see. I did not see junk food.
you just skipped over it. You're like, I don't even see junk food anymore.
I didn't. That's good and bad, I guess. I was not eating enough. Yeah, overworking. No exercise. Well, no exercise, I guess. There's been a few
No
days though.
exercise. So like if you don't exercise, that's not really you.
Yeah, and it takes my energy when I don't do it. But there were a few days where I thought it would be a better idea to not work out, and it ended up probably zapping my energy more than if I had just tried to get in a little bit of movement.
See, that's why it's on the energy takers list.
Hmm.
So, awareness, being aware of where our energy is going, and then also being aware of what gives us energy. So, sunlight, nourishing food, exercise, water, hydration, fresh air, music, prayer, meditation. You guys can read the rest of the list. Anyway, it's really good to be aware of these things, whether they're taking your energy or whether they're giving you energy. I know for me that, like, recently, I feel like my cup is like not even half full. It's like completely empty lately. Like, I have like zero energy because of so many different things that are going on within my life. But then there's a lot of fear, doubt, stress, overthinking, clutter and mess, overworking, like all of these things, living in the past, like all of these things that are just like zapping my energy. But whenever I saw this, it gave me a moment to pause and think about what's going to give me energy and how can I kind of like reclaim that back and how can I do that. So I like to like think about my day at the end of the day. And somebody else said this E word and they said evaluation. How many people, let me know by putting a 100 in the comments. How many people evaluate their day at the end of the day? Do you do any sort of reflection or self assessment? Do you do that, Misty, like before you go to bed or while you're going to bed?
I can't say that I do, Deanna.
You don't? Do you do it the next morning at all? You don't think about the day at all?
I start the next day. I try
You
to,
just
I
start the
know
next day.
that's,
Yesterday was yesterday and today's today.
I mean, I do, I try, and so I try to live right now. And I'm pretty good at that. So that, because if I live too far in the future or try to stay, like this says, living in the past, it makes me anxious, and
Mhm.
anxiety zaps my energy. So I try to eliminate anxiety by not living in the past or worrying about the future, and try to stay in the right here and right now. Do I think it's do I think self-evaluation is important? Yes. And do I do it? Yes. I do look backs for mainly my channel. Otherwise, it's a just an in the moment, right now decision making, because once it's been made for me, I can't change it. So if I didn't like that decision, I try to remember to make a different one the next time. But I know for a lot of people, and maybe I am self evaluating just like throughout the day. So it's not like
Yep.
an end of day recap or a beginning of day. Here's what I want to do different today. It is just a moment by moment. Ooh, that didn't work. Change that. Or, oh,
Mhm.
this has worked before. Try this kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. It sounds like you just like to evaluate as you go, where I like to
As
sit
I
down at the end
go.
of the day and do an evaluation at either the end of the day or the next morning. I like to do an evaluation. Also, at the end of the week, I like to evaluate the whole week as a whole. And then on the
Hmm.
monthly, I like to evaluate the whole month on a whole. So I like to do a lot of evaluations currently. Although I hate
Yeah.
doing my self evaluation for work. That's so funny.
That I feel like I'm actually really good at, my self evaluation at work, because I know exactly what I've done. Everything's documented, everything's tracked. I'm very organized. I am not that way in my personal life. I do not document, I do not track. I've talked about it over and over. So if you ask me what I did yesterday, I'm probably not going to know, because that was yesterday and I did it then. And sometimes that's a blessing and sometimes that's a curse.
See, I love how different we are, where she doesn't
Yeah.
track anything. I track everything. Everything. It's I'm
There's
like,
another
if
E
there's a way
word,
for me to track it, I'm
everything. I
probably
don't
tracking
track
it.
a thing. I find tracking things like that extremely stressful. I don't even actively track. I will check my steps throughout the day, because sometimes I have, talking about energy, noticed if I'm not moving throughout the day, my energy gets lower. And by
Hmm.
consistently moving throughout the day, it keeps my energy level up. Um, or another E word, just to throw it in really quickly, electrolytes. If I need some
Hmm.
electrolytes to give me more energy, then getting up and moving definitely helps me do that.
So that's just another thing that we can evaluate
But I
whether
don't.
too much
Yeah,
tracking or too little tracking or whatever
it's good for you.
is good for you, because what works for one person doesn't work for another. So
Oh yeah,
be sure to
because I've
be
tracked. I've tracked in the
right,
past, and every time I've tracked, I've quit because I hate the tracking. So I
because
quit the whole thing. I never just quit the tracking. I just quit the whole thing. And this time I started out and was tracking. I would weigh
mm-hmm,
every piece of food. I would put everything into the tracker. And when I tell you, when I start to track, I track. I'm not one of these. I took 2 bites of this and didn't write it down. I took 2 bites of that. Where's the UPC? What are we doing? I'm putting it in. I get obsessive, and then it's not good because then I need my macros exactly on point, and then I'll be adding weird random things to get my numbers where they need to be in my head when my head isn't even advanced enough to know if that's really going to work yet or not, because I haven't evaluated it because I've just started it.
exactly.
So like I said, blessing and curse, I guess. But yeah, it
And
gets me
then you're
really obsessed,
always, totally just examining
and that's
it to be
stressful
like,
for me.
and you get too messed up in your head. You're just overthinking everything, which is
Mm-hmm.
just zapping you of all your energy. And then you're not enjoying any of the process because you're
Mm-hmm.
just too much in your head, and it's like zapping you of everything that you have. So I love that we're so different and that we can share two different ideas of the spectrum, so that, we can show two different examples of, there's no right way. You've got to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment. I need a bell. I need a bell. I've got to get a bell so that every time there's a word that's said, I have one somewhere. We can ding it because it
I
would
have
just
a
be so much more fun. Like, ding, there's the word again. Okay. Anyway, do you guys like the idea of a bell? Do put an emoji in the chat or something? So, because I like whenever you get evolving. Oh yes,
evolve. That was my word last year.
that was your word last year, and I did want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about evolve
Mm-hmm. Sure.
because it was your word last year, and I remembered that. Um, so how did you choose the word evolve?
There was, I mean, at the time there were a lot of things that were going on, and I was sort of stuck in a rut. I was checking the box. I was doing all of the same things over and over and over, not really caring why or looking at why, just doing it. So then I started to think of what I really needed to accomplish in 2022. And I needed to be able to step sort of outside of my comfort zone and change up the things that I was doing. I ended up joining the Fit Squad, ended up joining the boot camps with our coach, Kirsten. Over at Quick Fit Home Workouts. Look at me learning that channel name. I'm not going to mess that one up again, Deanna. Just snuck it in on me last time.
Good
Um,
job.
but oh dang, I lost my thought because I made a joke. Sorry, Deanna. I lost my train of thought. I made a joke and then I distracted myself. But evolve. I'm talking about evolving. How did I come to it? So what did I want to do? I wanted to change. So I wanted to be able to do all of those things, and in order to do that, I needed to change, basically, right? And so I wanted a word. For me, I like good words that feel right, and change didn't feel like enough because I don't like it. So I wanted to evolve, which is a different word for the same meaning, but it gave me that way to adapt and do different things in order to continue to become a different, healthier version of myself.
That's awesome. So yeah, I love that. I think evolve means like so much. And I think that you did such a good job with evolving last year too. There was like so many great instances where you could actually show where that it actually happened and applied and worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And everything evolves. Like the way that we eat can evolve, the way that
Mm-hmm.
we exercise can evolve, our mindset can evolve. There's like so many different ways that we can evolve. And it's really, you think about it and you just think to yourself, how would I like to evolve this into a better version of me? What's, going to make me better? And I think that's like a whole big part of what my whole adventure is about. mine is like not, I shouldn't even call it a weight loss adventure because it's like a whole better self adventure. So the thing was with my program that I was doing, we just, write down what we're going to be eating and you just try and stick to it. You only eat whenever you're hungry, stop whenever you're satisfied, yada yada. And then you're supposed to make these 1% level ups. And for the longest time I was getting stuck with 1% level ups because I'm like, but I'm eating really clean food. I'm hardly ever eating out anymore. I don't eat junk food. I don't understand how I'm supposed to level up my food. And I'm like, I know that I can't eat any less because then I'm like, well, is this like the starvation diet? That's like, that's not healthy. That's not good.
Right.
But then I had to go to the mindset. How do I level up my mindset? How do I level up my triggers? How do I level up my reactions and how I handle situations? Because a lot of that's just causing, I've learned that I like to cause myself more stress than what is really necessary. So I'm all about, this like stress reduction journey right now in order to just, if stress is there, like how do I handle it better? So, number one, or how can I reduce the stress altogether? So that's how I'm trying to evolve my journey, is just by dealing with those small things that are like triggering to me. And sometimes, whenever those things happen, everything else that I'm doing in life just kind of wants to just, I forget about it and it goes to the wayside. So if I can evolve and try and deal with those situations in a different way, in a better way, then that's going to help me be more successful, like long term, I think. So that's kind of where I've evolved my journey to. So it's so weird because it's like less about like what standard people are talking about in the weight loss, world, especially on YouTube. Every single day, it's always like, this is what I eat in a day. And I'm like,
Yeah, we both do that
you.
sort of differently than other YouTubers, Deanna. We don't necessarily share that part of it for other people. But I think for us, that's because what we eat is very individualistic, and it's so individualistic, and we understand that I get it. Sharing what you eat gives other people ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. For me, I don't really share that much. I did more in the beginning. I don't share it that much anymore. I mean, if anybody's interested, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to share what I eat. I typically don't, other outside of my, you know, videos where I rank like energy drinks and food and things. But
Yes, always the energy drink. So
yeah.
yeah, I like them it's good for ideas, but I'm pretty basic and I eat probably the same like 4 meal plans every, they just rotate in and out.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 20 meals that we eat and we just rotate them and it's boring. So if I was to do that, people would get really bored in a month because they'd be like, oh, she's eating that again.
Shame.
I'm like, but I like my boring food. It's the food I like, and I don't get bored with it. So it's like, oh,
Me
look,
too.
she's eating an omelet again, like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yay. Okay. Ooh, what a great word. You guys are so good at coming up with these E words. Excellence, experience. You guys are so excellent. You guys are excellent. So, evolve. Wanted to talk about evolve. I like that word, evolve, a lot. But think about what,
Yeah, just
I
I
think
mean, evolution in general is a change over time, right? And so we will
exactly.
continually evolve. We talk about all the time about your why being very important, but that it changes. Your mental health very important, but it changes. How you track things may change, right? But it's all
Hmm.
that evolution of what works and doesn't work for you, what is successful and not successful. That sometimes you're an experiment on yourself. You're like, let me try this thing. You're good at that, Deanna. You're like, I'm going to try this thing. That didn't work. We're not going to try that again. Or, hey, that might have worked. Let's just keep at it and see what we think. And if you like a habit, you'll keep it. And if you find that
Yep.
the habit's ineffective, then you won't. And I love that. And it may be habits that I'm not trying to pick up, but I like to see other people working through what works for them because, again, sort of like with the sharing what you eat, I get where some people find importance in that because it's getting ideas.
Hmm.
Um, it's just not something that I do.
No. Getting to that next level, no matter how
Elevate.
small of a change. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. So yeah, we want to evolve. We want to elevate. We want to get to that next level. We want to see what we're going to be doing. So always
No
be trying
matter
to
how
think about,
small.
no matter how, and actually the smallest of the change is the best change.
Hmm.
Really, just start. You might think, oh, that's not going to make a difference. That's just too small of a change, but it will, because if you start making that little change and then you add on to that little change, then all of a sudden you look back, you're going to see this great big change that you made. But it all just
Hmm.
started with that little one. So no matter how small, Tia is so wise. She knows what she's talking about. She knows it. And she has a great podcast.
She
I
does.
like to talk about my friends and tell about how awesome everybody is because I just think they are. So,
I agree.
but yeah, we should be thinking about what's the next evolution of me and how can I make that small change? Because a lot of times we'll kind of get we can get stuck in what we're doing and we can forget
Oh, for
to
sure.
evaluate and you know sometimes like oh it's so easy for me to go like in exercise for instance it's so easy for me to just go to my 8 pound weights and use those but I know that there's like most exercises I can do with my 12 pound weights. I don't need to be resting on those eights anymore. I need to be challenging myself with the 12s, but I always want to go to it. But I have to evolve into those weights. Like it's
Hmm.
so it's hard for me to do sometimes, but I got to remember, we're elevating, and there's
Yeah, no, I
different
mean,
examples of that.
yeah, no, I do the same thing. I'm trying to go up in my weights too, and halfway through, I'll forget. Or, like, I've started just very recently doing burpees, like the actual ones, like, and then, but still, 90% of the time, I forget. And so I go into a less hard progression
Mm-hmm.
because I just kind of, I'm like, oh wait, no, we're not. We're doing a regular one now, Misty. Don't forget. So yeah, you're right. You evolve, but you have to continue to work at it, or else it'll be a de-evolution, and that's not what we're going for.
And that's true in everything. Like you
Oh
can
sure.
be so good with, your eating choices, especially like whenever you go out to eat or whatever at home, it's like, pretty basic. But like in these different environments, ding, um, gotta get that bell. So in these different environments that we go to, it's so easy to go back to old habits to do that and you forget that no I've evolved and this is what I do now. You just kind of because those habits were just part of you for so long. So whenever that happens, just oh that happened, don't beat yourself up over it because you thought that you had changed into this new identity of a person but then the old one snuck back in on you. That's not something to be upset about. It's just something that happens, part of you just your habits, your habit brain just coming in, and you just say oh wow that happened, I didn't want that to happen. We're going to think about that for the next time because we've evolved into somebody new now. So just something there. And speaking of that, these environments, the next two words I wanted to talk about, I don't know that anybody said, but I wanted to talk about because the time change in the spring and the whole thing brings up two big things that are probably going to be happening for everybody. Events, did I even say it right? Events and entertainment. So, how has events and entertainment evolved for you? So, Misty, is there like a way that events and entertainment have evolved for you whenever you think about it? And I just sprang this on her with no pre notice.
Well, I mean, well, yeah, I mean that's why I'm the guest, is so you can ask me fun questions that I wasn't prepared for. No, it has changed for me because I go to events and I enjoy them, and that never happened before. I never enjoyed going to events. Sometimes I would go out of obligation or a feeling of obligation. Even sometimes I didn't make it. I mean, there were times where I went places and I couldn't find parking, and I just messaged them going like, "Sorry, going home. I love you. Can't do it." But now I'd be like, well, just park and walk. No big deal. It doesn't matter. So now events are enjoyable. So entertainment, entertainment has changed a little bit though, because like now I find working out fun, and I like walking with other people and doing things with other people. So even my different or even my types of entertainment have changed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's like part of that evolving of our
Mhm.
identity, it does change. And it's like, oh, wow, now I can go and do blah, 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 or whatever. Like all these different new things. What is something that you're really looking forward to now that you have lost some weight or are getting close to goal? Or you guys, everybody in the comments, you let me know what's something that you're really looking forward to that you wouldn't have looked forward to before that you're looking forward to now, as far as like events or entertainment.
Just the fact that I have plans says more really than I can say. Like, I never had plans. No, and so the fact that I'm even thinking about doing a ropes course, going rock climbing, doing more volunteer work with friends, with other people, and around strangers, like all of those things in my past, just
Mm.
you would be like, Misty, what do you have planned next month? Nothing.
Charlotte's
Ever,
been
ever.
skydiving.
Hmm?
Charlotte's been skydiving.
Oh,
I've never been skydiving. I'm scared.
I'd do it.
I'd do it, but I'd be scared. Like, so
I might be
scared.
scared, but stuff like I'm an adrenaline junkie. I get scared by stuff that doesn't scare people and probably shouldn't, but it scares me. But those kind of things, I love. Let's ride a roller coaster. Let's jump out of an airplane. Let's do
Can't
it,
wait to
Deanna.
zip line. I'm definitely so
Oh,
excited
zip
to
line.
zip line. So
Yes, I
excited
have
to
done
zip line.
that. I got to do that in Las Vegas. I felt like Wonder Woman, except for she doesn't fly, but it made more sense to be Wonder Woman than Superman, and I'm not a Supergirl fan. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, it's ziplining was super fun, and I was small enough to be able to do it, so that was nice.
So events back whenever 266-pound Deanna, she would say she would go to a fair. It was about fair food. What
Mm-hmm.
am I going to eat? How am I going to eat seven different things and
Mm-hmm.
all of this stuff? So now when I look at, different events, even like Mardi Gras, it was about, all the food and all the drink and all the things. And now I look at events so much differently. It's about, sightseeing and people watching and how many steps am I going to get that day and just being out in the nature and enjoying stuff. It's different. It's
Cause
evolved.
it's cause it's about the experience. There's
Ding.
ding.
Yes, it's just about the experience.
Not
And there
about the
are
food so
times
much anymore.
that habit brain kicks in and it wants to say,
Mm,
but aren't we supposed to go and get this now? Aren't we supposed to,
mm-hmm.
whatever? Like if you go to
It's
the
cotton
movies,
candy time. Mm-hmm.
it's like you used to get, you'd have your regular order whenever you go to the movie theater and whatever. So now whenever you go to the movies, it's like different. It's changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be a little bit of sadness about that change at some point in time. You might feel a little weird about the whole situation because of, just life is a little bit different. And there are things that we sometimes have to work through whenever we, go through this evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But they're worth it. And I think a lot of people kind of get a little bit scared or fearful or anxious whenever those things come up. And it kind of might temporarily derail you from your whole expedition of weight loss because of those emotions and those things that are coming up inside. But it's important to work through those in order to get to the other side. So and recognizing it. We might see, and it comes back to that energy that we were talking about. Sometimes they zap your energy whenever you feel those emotions. You might not really fully understand what's going on. Your body's just throwing up a response. You don't know what's going on, but whenever you sit back and you think about it, you're like, oh, it was because I didn't get to order that large bucket of popcorn that I was feeling weird about the whole situation. And then you just work through it.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It comes up for me often where people are like, you need to rest. Don't go to work out tomorrow. I don't need physical rest. I need emotional and mental rest. And that is the kind that I find hard
Mm-hmm.
Physical rest, I've been an expert at that for 45 years. I've been resting my whole life. I've been doing that real good. That's how I got to 330 pounds. A lot of nothing except for eating. So, I mean, now, yeah, that's changing.
Yeah, you're getting to the fun part where everybody's going to be like, "You're too thin, and you need to eat more." And are you sure you're eating enough? And you need to,
They
well,
do that too because I also have a struggle with under eating which zaps my energy. So
well,
that's another thing
true.
that I have to be cognizant of. But yeah, there are so many times, but I say that because there are so many times where it is a mental exhaustion, and working out can help you work through that, but people won't do it because they think they're tired
Mm-hmm.
physically. You're not tired physically. So, I mean, I do evaluate. Like, in the moment, I'll be like, am I actually physically tired? Or am I just like, my brain isn't in it? Oh, my brain's not here. Get to moving, girl. Just do it. And then my brain will kick in and be like, oh, we're moving. Oh, we're having a good time. She's telling
Yes.
stupid jokes. It's like, now we're dancing. It's like, yeah. So, checking yourself and making sure you know the difference in which of your energy buckets is low is also important.
Becky says she's going to pass out on the way down. I might. I don't know. I've never been.
Could be.
Being able to fit in the roller coaster seat comfortably or
Mm,
not having to stretch the airplane seatbelt all the way out or get a connector. That was like the most, that was pretty rewarding, was being able to not have the connector and have like all the room on the airplane. That's always a good
yes.
feeling.
It was the reason that I started to lose weight, was to be able to travel with my job, and then COVID happened and I didn't get to travel anywhere. So when I got to go on my trip to Las Vegas, being able to just sit in a seat and buckle the thing, and I mean, I had like this much seatbelt left. I'm like, look at me go, look at me go. I took a picture of how much seatbelt was left. I
You
was so
did.
excited. Tia, I totally get it. Like, that was a huge thing. I always had to ask for an extender. I'm to the point where it didn't bother me. Look at me. I need an extender. Can you bring me one? Like, I was what it is. It is what it is, right? But I didn't want to be that person anymore, and now I'm not that person. So,
And
and I'm
those
excited to ride
moments,
a roller coaster.
we want to kind of
Sorry.
just remember those moments and bottle them up, because you might have a tough day and you might need that moment to get you through and to remember, this was what it was all
How
for.
far you've
And
come.
that's what it's
Mhm.
all for. And I'm going to have another one of these, moments, like just that pride and that joy. Like, I did this. Like, it feels so good. And it's going to
Yesterday
happen for
I
you
rode
too, Tia.
Yesterday I rode an electric scooter. I know that may seem like a small thing, but I was over at Amy's house, and she has a grandson, and he wanted to play cops and robbers, and he's like, Misty, you get on the scooter. And I was like, I've never ridden an electric scooter. I don't know how to ride an electric scooter. And my brain said, I'm too big to ride an electric scooter. And when I said that, then I was like, wait, stop it. Hold on. Nope, you're scared. Get on that scooter. I got on that scooter. We caught every bad guy. But you do have to push sometimes to get out of that comfort zone, and use the energy that you have for good and catching the bad guys.
And that's when you say, here, hold my phone, record this.
Well, I mean, she was busy. That's why I was watching the grandson. Otherwise, I probably would have. But it was still a fun experience. Ding.
Yay, Tia,
Because,
20 days straight. Sorry.
oh, yeah. I'm the most tired on days that I don't exercise as well, Tia. There were a few times where on Tuesdays or Thursdays I knew I'd be doing boot camp later, so I wouldn't do a workout in the morning, and the mornings were always so much harder. So now I just do a little something, 10, 15 minutes on those days anyway, just to get myself going. So I agree. A little something, because it's not my physical energy bucket that's low.
Being a bra size that Walmart carries.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother topic. I don't even know what size I am. I mean,
No, Becky. It's not going to happen.
I think I may one day.
Huh?
I think I may one day be enabled to fit in a Walmart size bra.
I think you are now, probably.
Probably, I think.
They
Don't they carry
definitely.
like?
I'm sure you are. You're in a size medium.
But I wear like a 2X in the bras that I wear. But it's just all skin. I
Ah.
was a size H, so I'm quite large chested when it started, but now I'm not.
No, that is exciting. Like,
It
it
is
is
exciting.
very,
I should
very
try it.
exciting.
Except for
very.
I can't wear those because I shake too much because it's just skin, so I have to have good support. And no offense to Walmart, their bras aren't the most supportive.
No, I've like tried on like 60 at one time. Like sat in the dressing room for like I bras. I hate bras. Are like
That
one of my
sounds like
nightmares.
torture. Ugh. Did you at least do a best of video and tell us which ones were the best? I mean,
No, this no, no, because
can somebody
nobody
do
would
that?
want to
Let's
see
just.
that because you just
I'd
get
watch.
so grumpy by the end
I bet
because you're
Jess
just like,
Kaplan could do it. I'm going to ask Jess Kaplan to try every.
oh my god, it's just oh, I nothing worse than trying on bras, and then you're like just
Just clothes in
exposed
general as you
in the
change. Yeah.
dressing room, hoping that nobody like comes in, and you're. I like to order them
That,
off of Amazon and then try them on at home and send them back. That's
oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've never worried about anybody coming in a dressing room when I'm changing. I guess they could. I mean, the door's locked. Don't you like the door? Sometimes I don't worry about things that I probably should worry about. I'm never worried. I don't mind trying on. I don't mind trying on clothes in the store. I just hate trying on
I
clothes.
just don't like
That's why.
Walmart's dressing rooms. Like regular store dressing rooms, like they're
Oh,
fine,
they're
but I don't
different.
like Walmart dressing rooms. They just creep me out for some reason. I feel like
They all feel the same to me.
just
Again, the way we're different. Yep, the way we're different. Hmm.
so. So I just want to take a minute and think about the events and the entertainment that's coming up, because one thing that I like to do is I like to be prepared.
Hmm.
If there's going to be a hurricane coming, I'm going to be the one that has my shutters up. I'm going to be the one that has the battery, the generator, the extra food. So I like to be prepared, whenever I'm going into things. So if I think about, if I'm going to an event or if I'm going to different entertainment or something, I like to kind of just walk through it in my head to see what kind of things are going to come up that might be potential roadblocks in my weight loss, and how do I want to act and react in these situations. What choices do I want to make that are serve me today and future me. So I like to just kind of put that out there so that especially right now, because these things are coming up really really fast. We got Easter coming up, we've got all these different things, so we might want to just take a moment and think about them and think about how is it that I want to be? Because just being at least a little bit prepared is going to go a long way versus going in and, well, for me, I do the freeze thing, and then I fawn, situations. So
Hmm.
I don't want to, as much as I can avoid that, and that's going to be better for me. So that's why I say that. That's why I put that out there as a tip, is some information that I can share for somebody that maybe can help you, is because that's what happens to me is I freeze. But if I plan it ahead of time, there's better chance that I'm going to be successful at acting the way that I want to act. But if I'm caught off guard by the situation, I won't know what to do, and I'll probably resort back to like an old behavior versus a new evolved behavior that I want to have.
Yeah, well, like you said earlier, sometimes the habitual brain that you had for much longer than the new one that you've been working on, right, will come back into play. So that definitely happens. For me, the being prepared, I'm going to be honest, it's mostly around the food because
Hmm.
certain foods just don't make me feel as good anymore, and so I don't want them. And sometimes I know that may be my only option. So either I accept that that's my only option and I'm okay with it, and I'm gonna like my niece got baptized the other week and they had a baked potato bar. It was delicious. I had a baked potato, but I also had a soda with caffeine in it because the baked potato I knew would make me a little sluggish. And so I wanted to make sure I could keep that energy up. Now, was that necessarily the healthiest way? That's, on your opinion on it. For me, it was, because then I still got to have the little baked potato bar with everybody. I still got to keep the energy level that makes me feel the best. And it was one day.
Exactly.
Whereas the last time another niece got baptized, I took my own food, and I am the person that's okay with that. I'm okay with you giving me food. I'm okay with saying I would not like to eat that. It does not serve me and make me feel good. Thank you. I'm okay with that because I wouldn't ask someone with an allergy to eat a food that could potentially hurt them, and I wouldn't want to make people eat a food that doesn't make them feel good. And
Right.
so I you have to stick up for yourself because it's a cultural thing. It's rude to not eat what people offer you. I disagree. It's rude to do things that don't serve you. It's rude to yourself. You don't have to be rude to yourself either. And if they are worth their grain of salt, they will understand that, in
Exactly. I
my
think
opinion.
the world has evolved that way. It's not the same world that we used to live in wherever that,
Right.
first came up and was, a way of being. It's not the same anymore. We don't have to
Mm-mm.
live by those things. So I love this. You are my people. I've always wanted a Victoria's Secret bra, but I don't think my full body weight will change that. So I've always been big my entire life. And then whenever I was in my 20s, I lost 80 pounds and I was thin for like 10 plus years. But I've always have had a big chest and I always wanted to wear a Victoria's Secret bra. So I lose all this weight. I lose 80 pounds. I'm like in a size 6. I'm small. I go into Victoria's Secret. No, they don't have my size. I have to order them online. Like, because my
Uh,
cup size was too freaking big. I was like, how
uh,
dare you people not have my, I've been dying because I was so worried about getting the band size that goes around. And then
mm-hmm.
I finally get to the band size that right. And then they're like, no,
And the
we don't
cup
carry
size
your
is bad.
cup size. I'm like, I
Oh, it's a problem when you go to Lane Bryant and they don't carry your cup size. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm at the big girl store. What are you talking about? You don't carry my cup size. You have to order that size online. Shut up. Are you serious? But yep, I did. Even the so yeah, I feel that. I feel that struggle. I don't think I have that anymore because all of mine were fat and it just kind of disappeared and now it's just skin. So it doesn't take up as much space.
mm-hmm. Lane Bryant changed their bras, and I think that they switched to an inferior product, and I'm mad at them.
Oh, really? I have not worn one of theirs in forever because I didn't like having to order them online. I like to try them on first.
You might be one of those people now. You
Maybe.
don't
I will never
know.
be one of
You got
those
to give it a
people.
try. You got to go. I have events almost every weekend at a trip or two in 2 months. Oh my gosh, that sounds exhausting. Bring your own food if you need to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a struggle for a lot of people.
A lot of
But
people do have a hard time with it. And I think it's one of those things that you have to practice. And then, like, there's like maybe a few people that you can get good at with it. And then you can expand to more people. But if you practice with people that are kind of more closer that you're closer with that you can talk to and have an honest conversation about, and you start with practicing with them and then work your way into the more difficult conversations and or it might be easier if you go the opposite way and it's easy to tell a stranger no because who cares? I don't know you. Like I might not ever see you again. So it's easy for me to tell you no, but somebody close to you, it's going to be really hard to say no to. So figure out which way that it is for you and then start with who's going to be the easiest to say no to. And you just got to practice. It's like doing a cartwheel. The first time you did a cartwheel was probably terrible, but when you practice and practice and practice, you get better at it. That's if you ever practiced a cartwheel.
have
Anyway,
I done a cartwheel? I don't know. I may need to try that.
be careful.
I will. But I may need to try that cartwheel.
Okay, Mary, on Sunday.
I may make me dizzy. I know. It may make me dizzy. I'm telling you. I got I got so dizzy. I had a vertigo spell on Sunday. I had to lay down on the ground. So they'll be used. They know what to do if I have a vertigo attack.
You may be. My cousin would
Hmm.
know it.
Yeah, a lot of us seem to have that problem. It's not a problem that I have anymore. It's not. I could probably be a Victoria's Secret girl. I'm not ever, but I probably could be.
Effort. So Tia said effort. I'm switching to a new word because I think I
Hmm.
talked about events and entertainment and got my point across on what I wanted to say about this effort. What does that mean? What do you think of whenever you think effort?
That's effort is one of those words that my brain immediately thinks that's a bad thing. It's hard.
Oh,
Effort is hard.
effort is
Not
hard.
always, But you asked again for my gut reaction, and my gut reaction goes hard. Effort. It's hard work.
Yeah, effort's hard work. Whenever it's just, something that you do and it's just, a habit but oh man, I got to put in so much effort. Like, oh, it's so much effort to make a meal. Like, but if you say, I'm just gonna whip it together. I'm just gonna whip it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna put something together, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but
I have to get up early to work out versus I get to work,
yeah, that's an
get up
effort
early
statement.
and work out. Yeah.
All these different ways. So it's kind of like a way that you talk to yourself too. You can just say like those things. I like the way where we led this word
Mm-hmm.
along this like little
I
path.
mean, effort could be seen as positive. I'll just be honest. That's normally not where my brain goes.
It does
Because if you're
after the
putting in the
fact.
effort, if you're putting in work, some of the work is fun. Some of the effort's fun.
After the fact, I feel positive about my effort, but beforehand, I feel like effort's work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's one of those things. It's our interpretation and impression of the word. My
Mm-hmm.
impression is that effort is hard, but I don't think that it always is.
Yeah, I'm not going to feel good if I tell myself today I'm really going to put in the effort. I feel like,
Yeah, I'm
oh
not
man,
going to do
today's going to
that.
suck.
Yeah, that sounds hard.
I got to do all this effort stuff. I don't want to do that. But I could probably list out like this is my to-do list. I got to get up. I got to walk the dog. I got to
It
exercise. I
takes
got
a
to mop the
lot of
floors. I got to
effort.
vacuum. I
Yeah.
got to go to work. Blah, blah. And that sounds all fine and good. But if you tell me, I'm really going to put in the effort today. Like, no.
Makes it hard all of a sudden. Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I love that. Okay. Here's another good word. Ego.
Mm-hmm.
Ego. Oh, has ego affected your weight loss at all?
I mean, I think in a weird way, my ego kept me big forever. Because it's sort of your self-identification, right? And so at for a long time that was me. I was Big Misty. That was my ego. That was my self-identification of myself. So I would say yes, it impacted my weight loss in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And then of course as it's changed, who I am has changed, and the ego part of me has different goals and wants and needs and desires now. So
Oh, I like that. I'm going to have to ponder that word for a while. For me, I don't really know. I'm quite interested to think about that. Expectations. Ah, that's an awesome word. Expectations. I'm going to let you go first on expectations too.
sure, yeah. So expectations, I don't know, I got overwhelmed with that word all of a sudden because expectations versus reality, right? You start and you want to lose weight, and the expectation is that you're going to do that and you're just going to change the way that you eat and you're going to exercise some, and then it's just going to just consistently, steadily fall off and drop down quickly. It's going to be fast. So many people, I need to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. Let's do it. That's not the way to think about it for me. So I had to change my expectation to know that I'm putting in work today that I probably won't even realize has worked until 6 months to a year from now.
Wow.
I have to believe in it today. Because, and actually on Life's Magical Journey, she put out a video recently. I don't know if you follow her or not, but she said, what if today was one day? We always talk about, well, one day I'm going to do this, but we don't live like we're doing that day. So make today that one day, because today's that day. Now, are you there yet? No. But put in the work today, because if you don't put in the work today for that one day's never going to come. I thought that was very deep. So
that was very deep.
Yeah, I loved that she said that. I've been thinking about it all afternoon.
I love whenever I hear things like that gets you like revved up and like.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to think about ego later, about your self-importance, self-esteem, your ego, and how it's changed. I think I think a lot more of myself, actually. I think my ego is much in a healthier place. Ego is often seen as bad as well, just to circle back around to that word. I liked that word. But yeah, my expectations, first, set a realistic one and be aware that they will change. And
Yep.
it's an expectation. You also have to put in the work to get the results.
What about expectations of others?
I don't have very many expectations of others.
What about other people's expectations of you?
That's on them.
That's on them.
I
I
mean,
love that. That's on
I feel
them.
like that feels so selfish, but at the end of the day, that's on them. That's your
That's
expectation of
on
me. That's
them.
not. Yeah, that's on you. That's not on me. That wasn't ever my expectation.
So many people get caught up with the expectations of others that other people place on you. They expect you whenever we go out together that you should, behave the way that you used to behave. Like if you used to
Hmm.
go out with somebody to eat and you would get an appetizer and a drink and a dessert and
And
everything,
a
they
dessert, yeah,
expect you to behave. That's
to
on
do that.
them. That's
That's
on
on
them.
that's on you.
They might expect you to, all kinds of different things. I'm not failing to think of good examples at the moment, but that's Misty said it perfectly. And if we can, accept that, and it's one of those things that it's like kind of like with the saying no to food whenever people offer food, it's one of
Hmm.
those things that it's hard for a lot of people to get past that. But once we can accept that, that's on them.
That's on them.
It's
Yeah,
going to
that's
make it a lot easier. But a lot of times we want to not do that. We don't want to accept that. But
and it's hard because when you start doing that, it feels selfish at first, but I can guarantee you
mhm,
it is not selfish. Because if you
mhm,
try to live up to their expectation, whoever they is, you are never going to meet it, my friend. You can't live up to somebody's expectation.
yep.
So whatever their expectation is should not impact who you are or how you think of yourself. So that's on them. That's on you,
And how
boo.
much does it
That's
diminish
on
what
you.
your expectation of yourself is whenever you're trying to live up to their expectations versus what you
Right.
expect of yourself? Like you're
Exactly.
living for you.
Being better at being myself every day.
Sometimes, oh, I love that. Ego gets in the way of progress, but it can also press you forward. Sometimes
Hmm.
my ego is too big to give up. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
ego
fine with
is
it.
oftentimes seen as a negative, but not always. I
I
mean,
guess I
it's
got
how
it
you view
because I'm not
yourself.
giving
And
up.
if you, yeah, that's why I said I think my ego is in a much more positive space now because I believe a lot more in myself. In fact, I did a whole live stream on self-esteem versus self-confidence and,
Hmm.
what the differences are for different people. And yeah, ego has a lot to play in that, I think.
That was a good one. Go check it out. It was really good. It had a lot of thought provoking things in it. It was really good. I liked that one a lot. It was awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, because it's changed for me. So
So it is 2 minutes to 8, and I want to respect everybody's time. So I want to thank you all for being here very, very much. I want you to come back to the video, please, and comment what was your favorite E word and why was it your favorite E word. Please don't forget to, check out all the friends that we talk about here on the channel if you can, because it will really help them. Don't forget to like the stream because it'll help me out. And, I want to make this bigger. I want to have more people come and enjoy the chats that we're having. And because it's just something that I enjoy immensely. I enjoy getting to chat with you all and talk with you all. I enjoy having guests on and getting to hear their perspectives. And it's just the highlight of my week. So truly, I just want to keep this going. So thank you all very
absolutely.
much. Misty, did you have a favorite E word before we go?
I mean, my favorite E word is still evolve because even though it's not my word of the year, in facing fear, I am still evolving. So I think it's all an evolution of who we are as people and being the healthiest version of ourselves that we can be. So that was my favorite word. I like evolution in myself and in other people. So yeah, smash the like button, subscribe to Deanna's channel. She's wonderful, and it is always an adventure. Deanna, thanks for having me.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Have a
See you
great
real
day.
soon.
Bye. It's going to be
Bye,
an
everybody.
adventure.